everybody, welcome to the show. My name is T and we are talking scary movies. I appreciate you tuning in for another brand new review. Remember, every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I'm going to have a new interview for you, an opinion piece, or some hot horror news to talk with all of you. But throughout the week, I am always dropping reviews for so much stuff here on my channel, whether it's horror movies, games, TV shows, books, whatever. I don't want you to miss any of that at all, so you got to get subscribed. And the best way to do that is to hit my link tree up. And you can do that by going to linktr.ee/T Scary Movie. If you get subscribed to my link tree, that's going to give you access to the YouTube page for the video versions of the show, to your favorite podcasting platforms for the audio only versions of the show, to my Letterboxd page for written reviews and movie rankings throughout the year, to my TikTok page for my short horror content including movie news and movie premieres, to my Twitch page where you can catch all of my horror gaming including The Thing for PlayStation 2, and to my Fangoria shop page where you can enjoy my 20% off discount, anything in the Fangoria shop, including the yearly subscription to the physical magazine. Take advantage of all of that there, folks. Hit that subscribe button, especially if you are watching on YouTube, as the more followers I get, the more content I can put out for all of you. So what are we talking about here tonight? Y'all know here in the month of August, we have so much great horror coming out. And on this coming Wednesday episode, I'm going to talk about some of the big ones. But we got to start things the right way with the first big film of August, M. Night Shyamalan's latest film, Trap. That's right, folks. Tonight we are talking Trap. Now remember the 10-year rule, folks. I am not going to talk heavy spoilers here on this one, so you don't have to worry about that one at all. We will not be surprising any of the twists or anything like that for you here. But hopefully, if you enjoy this, head to the theaters, go check it out, and if you don't see it, at least you tuned in as well, folks. So let's jump right on into it. If you haven't seen the trailer for Trap yet, this tells the story of a father who takes his daughter to the biggest concert of the century for the biggest pop star in the world as a surprise. But when they get there, they find out there's an increased police presence because they are trying to set a trap for a serial killer known as the Butcher. And as the trailer basically tells us, Josh Hartnett is now on a cat and mouse game as the Butcher to try to find a way out of this concert before the police close in. And there you have it, folks. That is Trap. Now, the first thing here we got to talk about right out of the gate is the fact that we're getting back to M. Night Shyamalan getting to write his own work. Because if you recall, the last film that Shyamalan did, Knock at the Cabin, while yes, he did co-write that screenplay and directed the film, and it's a movie that I absolutely enjoy, it is an adaptation of an already written book that was not by him. So he clearly had to abide by a lot of the stuff that was in that book. But you can take a creative license, but it's still ultimately not really your work. And like it or hate it, it's not really his film at the end of the day. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. Obviously, he co-wrote the script, he directed that film, and I really do enjoy Knock at the Cabin, but you can't really put it with a lot of Shyamalan's other work because he writes his films, right? So this is really our first 100% Shyamalan project since 2021's Old. Now, what I will say here, compared to his previous projects, I think that unfortunately, Shyamalan's younger career very much sticks in the head of folks that are my age, because I'm 36, y'all, and I think that folks who are in my age group really got to grow up with the gambit of bangers from Shyamalan. You know, we get Sixth Sense, The Unbreakable, Signs. I like The Village personally, but you had that run of great films over a 7-year period, and so people start to expect the same thing in every Shyamalan film. There's going to be a twist, there's going to be some kind of supernatural event, monster, whatever going on that's involved in this as well, and all those things will end up coming together by the end of the movie. And I think the problem is that when you have a lot of that in your films, that's what everybody is going to expect. So that became the running joke about the Shyamalan twist. You know, there are episodes of TV shows out there that make so much fun of the Shyamalan twist. And I think obviously he plays a role in that to add to his own legend and of what people are going to think of his movies before they come out. But I think the audience is going to have trouble letting go of that as well too. And unfortunately, that's going to cause a lot of problems here for Trap. One of the best things about Trap is the very, very small ensemble cast. I think obviously a good chunk of us are very, very interested in seeing Josh Hartnett back in a starring role, and especially in a starring role here in horror. It's been a little bit since Josh Hartnett has had that leading role to where he is the guy front and center. It's been years at this point here. From the last one, I'm sure any of you would probably remember. The thing is, Josh Hartnett is a fantastic actor, and he's been in some of my favorite horror films ever. Like, The Faculty is literally a top 10 horror film of all time to me. The man gets his roses. Penny Dreadful was fantastic too. He's a great actor. And for those y'all who want to see Josh Hartnett return to form, I think this is actually one of the most different roles for Josh Hartnett. He's doing like the charming thing that he got to do as like a younger man, but having that dad charm to it. And now the more weathered, the more seasoned, the more experienced Josh Hartnett in this role, adding to that charm. It comes off so natural. He's pretty funny in the film as well too. And you can see where that menacing comes from. You know, we got to see him in an episode of Black Mirror last year. One of my favorite episodes of the show, honestly. And he got to turn a little bit of that on. And we've seen those glimpses of the very dark and evil Josh Hartnett. Think of O back when he was younger as well. Same kind of role, right? But that one was like, that's a very depressing film, very depressing role, obviously doing Othello. But it was nice to have him play this kind of role to where that darkness just is like, it's kind of under the surface, but his job is to keep that covered the majority of the time. Allison Pill, who shows up as Josh Hartnett's character's wife. Great performance for her as well too. I feel that we don't see Allison Pill in as much these days, and again, she's done so many roles that she has been phenomenal in here. And I was about to say, honestly, like the way they were introduced to her, I very much thought this was going to end up being a waste of her talent, and no, she actually kills it. And towards the end especially, she gets a lot more to do with the role than you might expect, to where honestly she might be the breakout of this film. And I say breakout like she hasn't been in Hollywood for like the last 20 years, but this is very much a superb breakout role for Allison Pill, honestly. Could not stop listening. The great monologue that she gets to do towards the end of this movie. And honestly, to an extent, Salika Shyamalan, who plays pop star Lady Raven, does a good job as well. I think that having to be the top pop star in the world, you know, in a film, obviously you can really get around that, but you have to really embrace that presence. And I think that she did do a good job for the role. I don't think the writing really served her, unfortunately. And I would be excited to see her do some more acting roles in the future, but I think this close to Smile 2, and the fact that trailer played right before it, it's hard not to get the similarities of the plot of Smile 2 and of Trap. It's hard to separate those, unfortunately. Beyond that, I'm trying to place my thoughts here. Beyond that, I will also say that a lot of seeing Josh Hartnett's character Cooper Adams go around this concert venue and slowly get more information about what the cops are doing and trying to find ways to avoid getting caught and getting arrested or potentially getting killed, and still trying to keep the guys down from anybody who might actually know him. I thought a lot of that was ingenious. And it's hard not to think of a lot of other serial killer movies and TV shows that we've seen over the last few years and kind of equate that in the way that we want to see the character like do good, but at the same time the exciting part is the character is going to get caught. We hope the character gets caught, because not everybody can be that smart, and that starts leading towards the problems with the movie. So not much actually happens in Trap. Some of you have probably already heard that this is not a bloody movie at all. Like, he's playing a serial killer, but it's not like we see him going around killing a bunch of people in this movie or anything. It's really not a bloody movie at all, like to the point to where I'm trying to think if there was much in the way of any blood featured in this film. I think that Josh Hartnett does carry, like I said, that menacing nature to him in this film, and there are times to where you're just waiting for him to snap and do something, but nothing really happens. And that is the biggest issue with this film, is that between the combination of what a lot of you have come to expect from M. Night Shyamalan, and not only that, but just what happens in pretty much all of his movies, all of his movies have things going on. It doesn't matter how far back you go or how recent you go. If you look at Old, if you look at Unbreakable, if you look at The Village, if you look at The Lady in the Water, even After Earth, there is a lot happening in these films. And there's just not much of anything happening in Trap. There are definitely no scares. And that's okay, because as we said here before, folks, it's not like you have to be jumping out of your seat or there has to be a jump scare every few minutes or anything like that in horror films. I get that completely. I'm not going to hold that against it. But the problem is that there's no scares and there's no action that really happens as well, too. It's honestly a very muted, a very, very quiet film. And that goes back, if I could circle back around here, to the problem of watching Josh Hartnett go around the concert venue. His guy, his character Cooper just seems to know everything. And I know we're used to seeing smart serial killers. I just got done talking about Dexter this week. Love Dexter, obviously. But the thing is that Dexter was only as smart as, he could be. And as the seasons kept going on, it got clear that Dexter was becoming a little bit more reckless, and people were very much starting to catch on to him. And in Trap, it just doesn't happen. And I realize we're working in a very confined time. All of this takes place over, an 8-hour period, maybe a 10-hour period or so, because there is more outside of the concert as well, too, I will say, just as my one minor spoiler. But the issue here is that we get to see Cooper just be the smartest man in the room, and nobody is able to outsmart him at all. And unfortunately, that hurts every other character that's not Cooper, because it basically shows that no matter what anybody is going to think, no matter what anybody is going to come up with, Cooper has already thought of that, and Cooper will find a way around that. And as great as it is to see Josh Hartnett just taking over the screen and being this electric serial killer who you can't help to be a bit charmed by all that dad energy, the issue that we ultimately have is that if he's the smartest guy in the room and nobody can be smarter, the movie's just not that interesting. And with no scares, no thrills, but a lot of really great acting, unfortunately the film just can't really get out of that first gear and kick into something a lot higher. I think a lot of you are going to end up being disappointed with this. I don't think it's a bad movie, but I just don't think that there's really anything in there to hold a lot of interest. Kids don't see this. I'm telling you right now, don't have anybody under the age of probably 30 watch this, because I honestly think the younger crowd is going to very much turn against this film. I think it could find an audience with an older crowd, but the younger crowd, this is not going to do well with at all. So let me know. Tell me for yourself what your thoughts on it are. And folks, as we end this review here in the month of August, I am giving away a little golden book of A is for Alien. This is a recent release that is sold out, and y'all, I've saved one for all of you. So, in order to qualify to try to win a copy of A is for Alien, any video here in the month of August, all you got to do is comment on that. And that gets you entered into the drawing. Of course, we're going to be talking a lot of Alien this month, but any videos that I put up here in the month of August, you comment on it, chance to win A is for Alien, y'all. So, that is it tonight. Hit that subscribe button, folks. I want to hear from you in the comment section. And stay tuned, because we got more great stuff coming. I got reviews for The Howling coming up. We are jumping into the Alien franchise. Folks, we're going to have a great time here in the month of August. But my name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.
Boy here is a big fan of Fangoria. So, if you want to check out the world's best horror magazine that's out there. Get a chance to get yourself your own subscription, which I just got my first one back in 2022, and I don't regret it for a second. But if you want your own Fangoria subscription, or you like the Fangoria merchandise, then head over to the Fangoria shop and use my link if you want to save yourself some money, folks. That's an easy one to remember. Just go to shop.fangoria.com/AXDEW. Again, that's shop.fangoria.com/AXDEW, or use my specific code AXDEW at checkout. You can save 20% off your entire order, and that implies 2 subscription and one-time orders as well. You don't want to miss out, folks, because with the magnitude of horror movies we've had released in the last few years, and with what we have on the horizon, Fangoria is going to be your #1 source for all that great, juicy, bloody information in the world of horror. So again, head to shop.fangoria.com. Hey there, folks! Thanks for tuning in to T-Watch This Scary Movie. I appreciate you checking out another review or movie news, whether we're talking movies, TV shows, books, or games, whatever, it's all scary. Remember, you can check out new episodes every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the YouTube page for video. That's youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. Again, youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. And you can check out the audio version on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Just search T Watch the Scary Movie or TWASM. Don't forget, my name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.